Buongiorno and welcome to the Italian Pavilion. Today we're going to take a journey through beauty of our country, innovation, sustainability and opportunity. The first thing that we see is a map, because it's going to be a real journey and it's going to help us to get orientated inside the pavilion. So if you please want to follow me, we now go to the tallest point of the pavilion. We're going to be at 13 meters above the ground. You can spread all around. So the first thing that we see is this atomic clock. A clock that we use into space, made by the Italian company Leonardo, and we call this one the perfect time because it's literally perfect. It has a mistake of just 1 second every 3 million years. Right now, as you can see all around, the Italian pavilion does not have any walls because we didn't want the use of a closed space with air conditioning. So we just let the fresh air to come in, it creates a breeze and then it goes out without any negative impact on the planet. All we have as walls are 70 kilometers of nautic ropes made with recycled plastic that we took from the ocean. Another detail is the roof. Our roof are 3 big boats which are upside down. So the idea is that when the pavilion is going to be done, we're able to turn them over and bring them back to the sea. So once again, no waste at all, a pavilion which is very sustainable and has a strong idea of circular economy. Everything you see is going to find a new life in the future. So moving on, here up we see this chandelier. So this one is made by the Italian company Bulgari, so high-end and luxury Italian fashion. And this one is an homage to the country which is hosting us, the Emirates. Because there are 50 diamonds in there, which represents the 50 years of history of the United Arab Emirates, divided in 7 lines, which represent the 7 Emirates. So once again, the homage to the people which are hosting Expo. Here you go. Also the paint and the color you're walking on, they're very sustainable as well, because they all come from organic waste. For example, coffee, orange, sand, microalgae, so we didn't use any negative ingredient for the planet. Here in front of us we see this engine. This one is also made by Leonardo, the Italian company, and it represents the future of mobility. It's the perfect mixture between a plane and an helicopter. It can go as fast as a plane, but it can go in any direction just like an helicopter. So very, very functional. Here we see the second boat. So as I mentioned before, we have 3. This one up, the roof is the second one. And on the walls we can see these numbers. This is the Fibonacci sequence, an homage to the genius of Italian mathematics. It works that every 2 numbers, the third one is the result. And it's meant to be the perfect line of numbers. If we think about flowers or seeds, everything in nature has one of these numbers, and it also represents a flow. The flow that we have at Italian Pavilion. We're starting from the top, we're going down, naming all Italian companies and the Italian know-how. And now we're getting closer to the heart of our pavilion. Here in these waters we cultivate two different types of microalgae, which is the secret that allows us to be called sustainable and the secret that allows the Italian pavilion to breathe. But the first thing we see is this laboratory by the Italian company Green. So they sent 3 biologists from Sardinia for the whole duration of Expo for 6 months to keep track and take care of the microalgae we have here in the water. And now we're gonna find out why we have the microalgae and for what uses we have them. The 2 microalgae we have is the Spirulina algae in the green one and the Hematococcus in the red one. So a pavilion which is alive, able to breathe. Indeed, all the bubbles you see in the water is the transformation from CO2 into oxygen. More specifically, we're able to do this because downstairs we have a restaurant, the Bulgari one. We're able to collect the CO2 in the ceilings. The pumps, they bring it back to the water, and the algae, in a natural way, they absorb it and release oxygen for the visitors. So a place which is also very, very safe. All the plants you see from above, these also help us to have a clean oxygen in the pavilion. And the fact that we don't have any walls, the air can come in and go out in a free way. Another use we do of the microalgae, the spirulina one, we consider them as superfood. So a food that can give you a lot of energies. And NASA is already feeding all the astronauts with the spirulina peels for the properties and the amount of energies it can give you. In front of us we see this island, which we called Il Belvedere. It means the place of the beauty. Outside we use the technique of muro secco, which is a special technique we have in Italy. It's very sustainable because we didn't use any concrete. We just stuck the bricks one on top of the other in a way that doesn't fall. We call this place the place of the beauty, and we're gonna find out why when we go inside. So if you pay attention to the sky, right now the sky is changing, it's turning. And when the sky stops, these doors are going to open and we're going to find ourselves in a new beautiful Italian region. So right now we find ourselves in Colombia, which is in the south of our nation. We have a 360-degree view over our regions. These regions, they keep changing every 3 minutes. When they change, the sky is going to turn and there's going to be a new region. The white ceiling you see above, this one is an homage to Rome, our capital, because it represents the Pantheon, which is a structure we have in Rome. Is about jewelry from the 1820s, 1950, and it shows the heritage, the know-how of the Italian culture when it comes to the jewelry people. These are all gold and silver pieces, very precious, that come from the region called Abruzzo, in the middle of our country. And now we're gonna go inside this black circle, which is called Innovation Space. So, welcome to Innovation Space. This is a place where we talk about space, innovation, and planet Mars. The protagonist is this Marshall drill, a drill which is going to go on planet Mars this year with a mission called Expo Mars 2022 in collaboration with the European Space Agency. And his aim is to make 25 different holes in the ground to find any water, meaning life, both present or past. very revolutionary because it can go down in the ground for 2 meters, and the machine nowadays, even only went down for 7 centimeters. So a huge step forward. Here in front of us, we see this hologram. Now it's changing. Wait a minute, there's going to be a professor. So this one shows the future of education. It is made in collaboration with the University of Rome, which is Louis, this one. And now it's going to appear a professor. Every 3 minutes there is a different one, and it shows how it's going to be the future of international meetings and university lessons, where people are going to be different places in the world, but they can be all projected in just one room. It feels like they're talking and having a connection, but actually they're in different places in the world. And now we're going to move on to see a garden. So this one is a typical Italian garden that we decided to reproduce here in Dubai to see if our plants are able to survive to such a different climate. It's a real experiment. Compared to Italy, the climate is very different. But this garden hides a very innovative secret because every single plant has a sensor which is called the biorestor and allows us to communicate with the plant and understand what they need. If they need more water, more sun. It's a real experiment. Not all of them are surviving, and this is part of the process. We need to understand why, analyzing the data, and try to find the perfect balance. Here, in front of us, we see this bench by Dolce & Gabbana. Dolce & Gabbana is a huge presence inside Italian Pavilion. They provided all the uniforms, and they created this bench. You can see it very well here. This one is a in the south of our country, and it shows the flowers, the colors, and the atmosphere of the south of Italy. And they're all hand-painted tiles. And now we're going to one of the most beautiful places that Expo has to offer this year, which is the Theatre of Memory. In the middle, we have the iconic David of Michelangelo. This one is the perfect replica of the original one, which is located in Florence. But this one hides a very innovative secret because we were able to scan the original statue, which is more than 5 meters tall, and then 3D printed with a huge 3D printer with recycled materials. All around you see this art of work, this mosaic, made by the Italian company Sicci's. There are more than 2 million little tiles created with gold leaf, so very, very precious, and they pay homage to Sicily. Sicily is a region in the south of our country, and we decided to pick Sicilia, because it's the region with the biggest Arabic influence and community. So we thought it was perfect inside the Expo Dubai site. And now your journey through the Italian beauty is about to conclude. As the last step, you're gonna go inside this tunnel. You're gonna feel there is a lot of silence because it is made with foaming panels. And at the end, you're gonna see the trains running in front of you from Ferrovie dello Stato, which is the main transportation company in our territory. So thank you very much and have a good day. Grazie.
Thank you.
Ciao, buona giornata. Thank you. Ciao.
Olha, foi giro. Silencioso. Vem aqui.